I can't believe so much has changed. I always expected the future to be flying cars and robots. Not like this, says Anna. I'm sorry you had to come back to a world filled with so much destruction. You must be starving, and you look exhausted. Come, let's go back inside so you can eat and get some rest. It's getting dark out, and at night things become colder and more dangerous. In the morning we can find your house, and I can explain more things to you. Okay, says Anna. Eluka then begins to speak loudly in a strange hissing sound, and the same half-snake, half-man enters. He faces Eluka, but does not look or speak to Anna as his long snake-like tail slithers towards Anna and lifts her up. Then Eluka and Anna go back through the dark hallway and enter a dimly lit room, decorated with a large white table and a few chairs around it. The snake man gently sits Anna down on a chair, unwrapping his tail from around her. He then exits the room. Anna, still in disbelief, looks at the walls in this room and sees several pictures on the wall of very strange-looking people, all who appear to be part human, part animal. The largest picture she notices appears to be Eluka, and unlike the others, Eluka's picture frame appears to be made of gold and gemstones. She then looks at Eluka, whose back is facing her. Eluka is rummaging through a box that is on the counter on the opposite side of the room. Anna looks back at the picture of Eluka on the wall and thinks to herself, Eluka must be someone of great importance. Eluka then turns around and approaches the table holding a large bowl and sits it down, pushing it towards Anna. This is for you, Anna, to eat. It will build your strength. Then Eluka climbs up on the table and crosses her legs underneath her body, leaning in, looking directly at Anna with what can best be described as an exciting grin on her face. Feeling extremely nervous now, Anna looks down and begins to stir the thick bowl of soup. She looks up at Eluka, who is still sitting cross-legged on the top of the table, with the same excited grin staring directly at her. What is this? Anna asked. It's food. It's mostly fish, aquatic plants, and many nutrients and vitamins. Anna starts to stir the soup again as she tries to decide whether or not she will taste it, when suddenly Eluka snatches the spoon out of Anna's hand. Lifting the spoon full of soup up to her face, Eluka's forked tongue begins to lick the soup out of the spoon. All the while, she never takes her big, red, bulging eyes off Anna. It's very good, says Eluka, as she puts the spoon back in the bowl. Filling it, she then holds the spoon in front of Anna, gesturing her to take hold of the spoon and try some. Anna then hesitantly takes the spoon and tastes the soup. Immediately, all the senses and taste buds on her tongue come alive as she realizes how hungry she is, and she begins to eat the soup at a fast rate. She almost forgets that Eluka is sitting on top of the table directly across from her. When Eluka asks, "So why did you have yourself cryogenically frozen?" Anna then takes another mouthful of soup and swallows before answering, I never planned on being frozen. I was very sick in the hospital. One of the last conversations I had with my parents. I remember I was laying in my hospital bed and my dad asked me if I would like to be cryogenically frozen if my medical condition takes a turn for the worst. I told him not to think like that, everything will be fine. I also told him and my mom that I would rather be buried near other family members if anything ever happened. We would all meet in heaven one day. We only talked about cryogenics that one time. I thought it was settled. I can't believe my parents actually decided to have me cryogenically frozen. Anna then lifts the bowl up to her face and drinks the rest of the soup. Anna then asks, what about my parents? Can you bring them back also? Eluka then responds, no, sorry, we can't. As far as we can tell, you are quite possibly the only person on Earth whose cryogenic chamber did not fail over the centuries. It's a miracle we even found you under so much snow and ice. Oh, says Anna, who then starts to feel depressed, realizing everyone she's ever known has long been gone. Would you like some water? Says Eluka. Sure, says Anna. So what else happened after I died? Was other intelligent life ever found in the universe? Eluka responds, in the 2070s, humans did develop a type of pure energy light wave probe that could bounce off the stars in our galaxy faster than the speed of light and pass through the atmospheres of distant worlds, taking readings of these worlds in the search for intelligent life. It was one of the most exciting days in human history when the probe returned to the solar system with a detailed map of our entire galaxy. The entire world stopped what they were doing on that day as everyone sat around their hologram devices, looking at the detailed maps of nearly everything in our galaxy. Soon, though, the excitement turned to desperation and despair when people began to realize the entire galaxy was just as lifeless as the planets in our solar system. 100% of all the potential habitable worlds in our galaxy were either too hot, too cold, lacked an atmosphere, or were too high in radiation to ever support life. Anna sat there quietly, listening to Eluka speak. Many believe this discovery led to the Third World War in the 2080s. Humans felt more alone than ever. Every nation felt other nations' ideas and customs were the wrong way forward, and each nation wanted to lead the world to protect our rare life and ensure the survival of possibly the only planet with life, Earth. World War III was fought over the best way to preserve life on Earth, and was very different from past wars. This war had almost no soldiers fighting, as in past wars. This war was fought in secrecy, almost entirely with biological weapons. No country ever admitted to releasing any biological weapons, but 500 million died worldwide. Tens of millions lost their eyesight, and 60% of women worldwide became infertile. All of these things led to the genetic revolution of the 2090s. All children born would have genetic engineering to combat these new viruses and biological weapons, thus making the threat of biological warfare obsolete. My God, says Anna, I had always imagined things would get better, not worse. Eluka then climbed off the table and tells Anna we should get some rest if we're going to make the trip to what used to be your house tomorrow. Okay, says Anna. The snake man then enters the room and once again, saying nothing, his tail wraps around Anna, lifts her up, and carries her down another hallway to an open room and sits her down on a bed. He exits the room. Anna sits on the bed, looking at the brightly colored wall. She also notices another bed across from hers, and in this room she can hear the sound of a slight wind above the ceiling. Anna sits there in silence, thinking about everything she has seen and been told. When Eluka enters the room and grabs Anna's hand, slightly squeezing it for a second, before letting it go, then smiles at Anna. Then Eluka walks away and lays down on the other bed, her body facing the wall. The strange garment Eluka wears over her body rises slightly over her lower back as she lays down, and Anna can see Eluka's back is covered in green and bright orange scales, under which is a small tail, maybe 1 foot in length, that moves slightly and slowly back and forth. Also, her sides, underneath her ribs, have many gill-like openings which open and close as she breathes. Anna then lays down, putting her hands under her head. She stares at Eluka's strange back and gills as she attempts to fall asleep. Eluka then rolls over in bed and sits up. Her mouth opens wide, revealing several rows of tiny, sharp teeth. Her face, the face of pure anger and hatred, stares directly at Anna. Anna, feeling scared now, uses her arms to push herself up. She scoots herself back across the bed to the edge of it, up against the wall. Then she says, Eluka, is everything okay? Eluka then slowly stands up, her face even angrier now. She begins to walk towards Anna. What's wrong? Says Anna. Eluka then climbs into Anna's bed and puts both hands on Anna's head, forcing Anna to look directly in her red eyes. Eluka then wraps a handful of Anna's hair in her hand and yanks out a clump of Anna's hair. Anna begins to scream as she tries to shield her head. Eluka uses her other hand to rip out another handful of Anna's hair. Eluka then grabs Anna by her shoulders, slamming her down on the bed, forcing Anna to lay down. Eluka sits on top of Anna's arms and chest, rendering her defenseless. Eluka then begins to take her time as she pulls out handfuls of Anna's hair, first with her left hand and then her right hand, switching back and forth between her hands as she continues to pull out Anna's hair, while Anna screams and cries. The pain causes Anna to turn her head to the doorway. She can see the silhouette of the snake man standing there, looking at her. Anna, still crying, begs Eluka to stop. Please stop, begs Anna. Then she suddenly hears Eluka say to her, Anna, are you okay? Anna, breathing heavily, uses her arms to sit herself up in bed. Then she immediately begins running her hands through her hair, all of which is still there. She looks across the room and sees Eluka sitting in the bed across from her with a puzzled look on her face. "Are you okay? It sounded like you were having a nightmare," says Eluka. Anna, still breathing heavy, answers, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just had a bad dream." "Well, hopefully you didn't have a bad dream the entire time you were asleep, because you were asleep for a long time," says Eluka as she smiles at Anna. I don't know," says Anna. "The bad dream didn't last that long. How long was I asleep?" "You were asleep for 3 days," says Eluka. 3 days? Says Anna in shock. "Yeah," says Eluka, "but it's probably normal for someone who was cryogenically frozen for so many centuries." "Are you sure you're okay?" says Eluka. "Yeah," says Anna. Eluka then stands up and walks towards Anna. "Well, I'll make you something to eat and then we can go find your old house if you're still up for it." "Okay, yes, that sounds good," says Anna.